Hello, sports fans. It is Monday, January the 12th, the year 2015. And as always, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Great to be back with you guys. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you caught some of the NFL playoff games over the weekend. There were some riveting games in the National Football League. Let's recap it real quick for you. Let's start in Denver, where the Indianapolis Colts go into Denver and smack around the Broncos 24-13. I was absolutely shocked by this game, absolutely stunned how well the Colts played and how pitiful the Broncos were at home. Let me start with Indianapolis. First of all, we all know Andrew Luck is going to be a star. I mean, we all know it. Everyone loves Andrew Luck. Is there anyone out there that doesn't like Luck? I mean, I really like him as a quarterback. He has all the tools, all the intangibles. I love Luck as a quarterback. Even though he threw a couple of interceptions yesterday, still made some gigantic plays in the game. I thought Indianapolis's defense was awesome yesterday. I thought they played really well. I thought the coverage was outstanding. I thought they tackled well pretty much throughout the whole game. Yes, they did let Denver convert on that 1 4th down where they should have stopped the running back in the backfield. But other than that, Indianapolis's tackling was great. Their coverage was great. They got pressure on Manning when they needed to. I thought Indianapolis played a tremendous defensive game. Then, of course, Luck made some big plays. The running game got going late. And Indianapolis goes into Denver and beats the Broncos 24-13. What a great job by the Indianapolis Colts. Now, as far as the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning, what a despicable performance by them. Here we go again with Peyton Manning in the playoffs. What in the world was going on yesterday? Denver looked lifeless. I mean, absolutely lifeless. Denver went down the field in the first couple minutes of the game and went up 7-0. And you're like, oh, Denver's going to score 1,000,000 points in this game. They didn't score a touchdown the rest of the game. They only put up 6 points in about 3.5 quarters after that. 6 points, 2 field goals for the Broncos at home in the last 3.5 quarters of the game. Are you kidding me? The fans were booing in the third quarter. That's how bad it got. It was so quiet. I couldn't believe the performance by Denver. Wes Welker, 1 catch. Where was this great Denver pass rush? Where was both Thomases, making big plays all over the field? Where was that yesterday? Where was Sanders, who we all heard all this year was having a great year? He came over from Pittsburgh. He was having a tremendous year. Where was he yesterday? And what was with Peyton Manning yesterday? Peyton Manning looked like an old, hurt elephant yesterday. Every pass he threw was wobbling, and it was about 2 yards down the field. 2 yards, 3 yards, dinking, dunking. Every play the Broncos ran seemed to be like a screen pass. Screen pass, 2 yards, Colts tackle him. Screen pass, 3 yards, Colts tackle him. 5-yard pass over the middle, Colts tackle him. Nothing big downfield. No big plays. Lifeless. Manning showing no life whatsoever. And we have seen this act before from Peyton Manning. This is not just this year. We have seen it a ton of times in the playoffs where his game does not go up to the next level. It takes a step backwards. That's always been the problem I've had with Peyton Manning. When everyone in the world says he's the best quarterback of all time, you have got to be kidding me. Now, I know he's got a Super Bowl. I know he's an all-time great. I know he's a Hall of Famer. I understand all that. He is not the best quarterback of all time. Not when you don't raise your game in the playoffs. They were lifeless yesterday, the Broncos, and I don't want to pin it all on Peyton Manning. Across the board, they were bad. But Peyton Manning has to take a big chunk of the responsibility here. He was atrocious yesterday. He now has the most playoff losses in NFL history. Are you kidding me? Every single year, Peyton Manning, whether he was on the Colts or the Broncos, has had big regular seasons. His teams are always 12-4, 13-3, 14-2, 11-5, 1 seed, 2 seed, monster record, big time teams, and every single time, with the exception of that 1 year that he won the Super Bowl, he has fallen short, and his game has fallen short as well. He was atrocious yesterday. What were his stats yesterday? This Peyton Manning stats yesterday at home. 26 of 46 for 211 yards. Peyton Manning and the Broncos, are you kidding me? 211 yards passing for Denver, who scored 1,000,000 points at home this year. And let's not make it like the Indianapolis Colts were the steel curtain. The Colts this year gave up 42 points to Dallas, 42 points to New England, 51 points to Pittsburgh. Let me say it again. The Colts gave up 51 points to Pittsburgh. And oh, by the way, they gave up 31 points to Denver the first time they played them. They even gave up over 30 to Philadelphia. So let's not make this Colt team to be the steel curtain. Listen, the Colts played well yesterday. They played good on defense. I loved what they did. They deserved to win. They dominated the game. What in the world were the Broncos doing across the board in this game? All I heard all year is how the Broncos are loaded, and they added to the secondary, and they got the big pass rushes in Ware, and they're now more physical on the offensive line, and they're a better team than last year, and now they got a running game to lean on, and it's going to be a different story this year. And last year they were outmatched by Seattle, and they're much tougher this year, and Peyton Manning is going to get his second Super Bowl. They laid a complete dud in this game. A dud. 6 points the last 3.5 quarters. Can't get into the end zone for 3.5 quarters at home. Are you kidding me? Peyton Manning, awful job. Looked like an old, injured elephant. I mean, I would expect Peyton Manning to come back next year. I don't think he's going to retire. But I don't see Peyton Manning winning another Super Bowl. Now the Broncos got all sorts of question marks. A lot of free agents. Peyton Manning with his health and his age. Is Fox coming back as the coach? Remember, Elway did all he could to stack this team as much as possible. Do you realize how many big-time players they have on this team? All those receivers, both Thomases, Welker. I mean, the list goes on and on. Sanders, they added the running game. They added Ware, as far as the pass rusher. They added guys in the secondary. They were built to win right now, and they fell flat on their face. Atrocious, awful job by the Broncos. They showed no heart, no life. They laid down like dogs. They were terrible in this game. And no more talk about Peyton Manning being the best quarterback ever. I mean, come on. How much do I have to hear about this? And then after the game, it's once again all the people on ESPN and all these sports channels apologizing again for why Peyton Manning played well, making excuses for him again. Well, he must not be 100%. Well, the Broncos still don't have a great offensive line. They still don't have this. They still don't have that. You got to be kidding me. Give it a break already. I mean, you can't keep saying Peyton Manning is the greatest quarterback of all time, and then every time he falls flat on his face in the playoffs, I mean, you keep making excuses for him. You can't have it both ways. Peyton Manning did it the right way. He was a class act. He's a Hall of Famer. He's probably the greatest regular season quarterback of all time. He does have a Super Bowl. He's not the greatest quarterback of all time. Do you realize Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowls? Eli Manning raises his game in the postseason. Joe Flacco raises his game in the postseason. Peyton Manning takes a step back, and I see Peyton Manning too often in big spots come up short. I saw it going all the way back to when he was at the University of Tennessee when they couldn't beat Florida. And right after Peyton Manning left, Tennessee won the national championship after that. And I don't want to put this all on Peyton Manning. The Broncos as a team were listless yesterday. I thought they were outcoached, outplayed. They were terrible. The fans were booing in the third quarter. Pitiful performance by the Broncos, and I don't want to hear any more people telling me that Peyton Manning is the greatest quarterback of all time. He is not. I mean, you cannot have the most playoff losses in NFL history and be considered the all-time greatest quarterback of all time. I am sorry. He has fallen short too many times in the playoffs with big-time teams. This team was not 8-8. This team was not 7-9. This team was loaded again. They're 12-4. Every year he has big-time teams, and once again he falls flat on his face. A pitiful performance. No life. Didn't rally the troops. Even when they were down 24-13 with a couple minutes to go, they couldn't even get into field goal range. I mean, they were running 2-yard plays. They were chewing up the clock. The clock actually ran out before they could even attempt a field goal on an onside kick. 2-yard pass, 3-yard pass, 5-yard pass, 6-yard pass, nothing downfield. Peyton Manning with that lost look on his face. Terrible performance by the Broncos. Pitiful performance by the Broncos. Disgusting performance by the Broncos. They played the worst of anyone over the weekend, and I was shocked that they played this bad. Did I think the Broncos were going to win the Super Bowl? No. Did I think they would win here? Absolutely. I didn't think the Colts were ready for this. If you told me before the game the Colts were going to hold Denver to 13 points, I would have said you were crazy, especially since Denver walked down the field on one of their first possessions and scored to make it 7-0. It was 7-0 within the first 5 minutes of the game. They scored 6 points the rest of the way. That's hard to believe. Peyton Manning, I expect him to be back. I don't think he's winning another Super Bowl. I am sorry. No more talk of Peyton Manning being the best quarterback of all time. And let's give the Colts credit. Their defense was awesome. The tackling, for the most part, was really good. The coverage was great. Luck made some big plays. The running game took over in the fourth quarter. I thought the coaching staff was great for Indianapolis. Tremendous, gutty road win for the Indianapolis Colts. Great job by them. They advance. Awful, despicable, atrocious loss by the Denver Broncos, and especially Peyton Manning. All right, let's move off that game. Let's go to the Green Bay Dallas at the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, where the Green Bay Packers win 26-21 in just an old-time, classic-style football game. First of all, you're at Lambeau Field. Great setting there, outdoors. And then you got two classic teams, Dallas and Green Bay, just slugging it out all game. I mean, this game was back and forth all the way. Rodgers is playing, with a hurt leg. He gutted it out yesterday. Green Bay's up 7-0. Dallas goes up 14-7. Dallas is up 14-10 at the half. Dallas goes up 21-13 in the third quarter when Murray has the touchdown. Dallas is getting that running game going. Green Bay scores to make it 21-20. Then in the fourth quarter, Green Bay takes the lead 26-21. And then late in the game, here we go, the big play of the game, the big controversy. Dallas involved in controversy 2 weeks in a row. Dallas, with 4 minutes to go, has a 4th and 2 at the Green Bay 32. They throw a deep pass down the sidelines, which I was surprised with. I thought they'd go short for the first down. Romo appears to hit Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant is well covered on the play by Shields. Shields actually tips the ball. Dez Bryant attempts to make an outstanding catch, leaps in the air, looks like he has the ball, but as he's coming down, the ball moves, hits the ground, and he doesn't maintain control of the ball all the way through the catch. They give him the catch at first, they review it, they reverse it. I thought it was a good reversal. I mean, you could argue about if you like the rule, from now till kingdom come. That is the rule. They called it correctly. He initially had it, but when he was finishing the process of the catch, the ball moved, hit the ground. With the rule states, that is not a catch. I thought the referees handled it correctly. And Dallas, 2 weeks in a row, is involved in controversy. Last week, of course, the whole debacle with the officiating in the Detroit game. And now you have this monster call that goes the other way. From there, the game was not over. 2 minutes to go. Rodgers hits Cobb for a first down at the Dallas 35 on a big 3rd and 11, and that seals the deal. Green Bay is able to run out the clock. And on that pass, Rodgers to Cobb, Dallas actually tipped it, and it still got out there to Cobb, and he got the first down. I was actually shocked that Green Bay threw the ball there. I thought they were going to take some more time off the clock, running the ball and punt it. Now, if they didn't convert that, they would have saved Dallas a minute on the clock, so that was an absolutely huge conversion. But the play of the game, without a doubt, the 4th and 2 at the Green Bay 32 with 4 minutes to go. Dez Bryant attempts to make the great catch, and as he's going to the ground, unfortunately, it moves a little bit, hits the ground. They reverse the call. I thought it was a good reversal. Heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking loss for Dallas and their fans. This was an outstanding game, slugging it out, left and right, these two teams on that classic field, two classic teams. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. Great job by both teams. This is one of those games where I didn't think there was a loser in this game. I just thought, Green Bay got the benefit of one call. They made some plays at the end, and Green Bay eked it out. Dallas didn't play a bad game at all. Could have easily won this game. Could have easily won the game. Give Green Bay credit, though. Give Rodgers credit for gutting it out and making the big plays at the end. Like I said, heartbreaking loss for Dallas and their fans. But Dallas did a really nice job this year. No one thought they'd be this good. Everyone thought they'd be a bad team. Their offensive line is solid. They got the good running game. Roma played well. You know, they got the weapons on the outside. Defense didn't play as well at the end of the season as it did in the beginning of the season. But what defense outside of Seattle's has played well, really? I mean, in college or the NFL, there's not many good defenses out there. But overall, Dallas, a nice season. Heartbreaking loss. Good job by Green Bay getting through this game. They move on. Let's go out to Seattle, where the Seattle Seahawks beat the Carolina Panthers 31-17. Listen, the story of this game was turnovers. This game was pretty even in yardage and statistics and everything else, with the exception of turnovers. Seattle had no turnovers. Carolina had 3. That's not going to get it done. If you're Carolina, you cannot turn the ball over 3 times in Seattle and expect to win, especially when one of them goes the other way for a 90-yard touchdown interception. You're not going to win that way. That was the difference in the game. You know that Seattle defense is ferocious. Carolina did move the ball pretty decently in this game, but like I said, at 24-10 with 6 minutes to go, Carolina's driving, trying to get to within 7 points, and Chancellor comes up with the big 90-yard interception return to seal the deal, and Seattle wins 31-17. I didn't think Carolina was completely blown off the field in this game, but the turnovers absolutely doomed them. We know Seattle can do that to you. Seattle is not as good as last year, but to me, they still look like the best team in football, because to me, they're the only team that can consistently get stops on defense. I don't care who else you're talking about, whether it's New England or Baltimore or Green Bay or Dallas or Denver or the Colts or anybody else. Seattle gets consistent stops on defense. Nobody else seems to do that. I know they're not as explosive as last year, but Seattle to me is still the team to beat, and those fans in Seattle are great. Even though they won the Super Bowl, they are still hungry for more. They're still wild. They're still rowdy. By the way, if you ever get out to Seattle, please go to a game out there. The fans are tremendous. The stadium is to die for. It is a great atmosphere, and that Seattle defense is worth the trip alone to watch them lower the boom on teams. So Seattle advances. And let's go to New England. This was another great game, where the New England Patriots beat the Baltimore Ravens 35-31. This was an absolutely wild game, another classic game. I mean, Baltimore is up quickly in this game, 14-0. New England comes back to tie 14-14. Baltimore goes up again by 14 points, 28-14. Again, New England rallies to tie the game at 28. Baltimore goes up 31-28. Here comes New England back 35-31. And then Baltimore driving late. 2nd and 5, deep in New England territory. Flacco throws the ball into the end zone, and it's picked off, and New England holds on from there. I thought Flacco and the Ravens got a little greedy there. Didn't need to go for the home run into double coverage. 2nd and 5, you had plenty of time, short distance for a first down. Take what the defense gives you. Baltimore was moving the ball all day. I thought they got a little greedy there. Reminded me last year of the NFC Championship game where Kaepernick got greedy and threw the ball into coverage, and Sherman ended up tipping it, and Seattle picked it off, and Seattle won the game. Same type of deal here. Baltimore and Flacco didn't need to get that greedy there. They tried to go for the home run. They got burned, and New England survives. Very, very lucky to escape this game, New England. I thought Baltimore played very, very well, but New England made the plays at the end, and they win and they advance. So that sets up next week Indianapolis at New England, and of course Green Bay at Seattle. Now, New England has already buried Indianapolis this year, and Seattle has already buried Green Bay. Both Seattle and New England are favored by 7 points. I will pick both of those games tomorrow for you. So that's where you were in the NFL. What a wild and wacky week of the NFL. The Green Bay-Dallas game was a classic. Like I said, Lambeau Field, 2 classic teams. The Des Bryant catch or no catch. Classic game. The New England-Baltimore game was a wild, slug-it-out game. Those 2 games were classics. I mean, I was very impressed with the Indianapolis Colts yesterday and what they did. We know Seattle's defense can lower the boom, but I thought Denver, of all the teams, I mean, I thought Denver played the worst of anyone, even worse than Carolina. I didn't think Carolina played all that badly. They did have 3 turnovers that doomed them, though. Denver played by far the worst of any team in the playoffs. I mean, they were atrocious in this game. I could not believe how bad Peyton Manning and Denver was in this game. After watching them put up all those points again in the regular season to fall flat on their face, I am disgusted with Denver. I don't want to see Peyton Manning even come near another Super Bowl. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the big records every year and him falling flat on his face in the playoffs. And I don't want to just pick on him. The whole Denver team was terrible. I mean, the whole Denver team. Where was the great pass rush? Where was the great pass rush yesterday? I mean, terrible job by the Denver Broncos. I mean, the Bronco fans must be disgusted. I mean, they have to be. They were booing in the third quarter. Terrible job by Peyton Manning and the Broncos. I got to get off that. All right. Now, that's where you are as far as your recap in the NFL. Later on today, I'm going to have my friend Joe over, and we are going to give you our pick for the national title game in college football tonight between Oregon and Ohio State in Dallas. The spread is going all over the place. Used to be Oregon by 7, then it went down to 5.5. Now I think it's back up to 6.5 with that suspension to the Oregon receiver. The spread is all over the place. I will pick that game with Joe later on. I will try and have that video up for you by 4 o'clock Eastern Time, so you'll have plenty of time to watch it before the national title game, which starts about 8:30 Eastern Time. So I will be back later with Joe. We'll pick the national title game. We'll do a real quick prediction for you. And then tomorrow, I will recap that game for you. We'll recap the whole game, and I will give you my 2 NFL picks for the NFL, for the NFC and the AFC championship games. Like I said, Seattle at home, -7 over Green Bay right now, and New England at home, -7 against Indianapolis. So the spreads are pretty heavy. I will give you those picks tomorrow. Later on, like I said, I will be back. Oregon, Ohio State prediction with my friend Joe from Sirius Satellite Radio. So I'll be back with you guys in a couple hours. You guys, thanks for the support. Try and check me out later. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks again. Talk to you soon. Take care.